Hello everyone, I want to make some paper tassel Christmas tree embellishments with you today. Of course it's week 2 of the festive stroke repeat a prompt challenge in the Facebook group The Mixed Media Emporium, and for anybody that wants to follow along with us, I'll leave the link to the group in the description box below. Now again, I've got some of these beautiful Flons papers that I've been using for the last few weeks to make my Christmas cards, and this is what I'm going to use to make my tassels. Let's choose a design. Hang on, this one here will do fine. Now these papers here measure approximately I think it's 5.5 by 5.5 inches. I've made these paper tassels before, but using slightly larger paper. So what I'm going to do this time is use this smaller design because it's just you know, a beautiful texture to use for these tassels, quite heavy weight, and I just love the double-sided designs as well. So what I'm going to do is go off to my paper trimmer, and I'm just going to cut this piece of paper in half, so that will be at approximately 2 3/4. So please don't feel that you can't use your smaller pieces of paper for this project. I've now got 2 pieces here that measure 5.5 by 2 3/4. What I do want to do is just measure at 1 centimetre on one of the sides. Now, because this is so busily patterned, it's going to be quite hard for me to see my pencil mark. So let's go in here at the blank area so that I can see where I'm drawing that line. You'll see what I mean in a second. So there we go, approximately 1 centimetre. And I'm just going to draw a line across here, just like this. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece here as well. Is there any particular way this needs to go up? It makes no difference whatsoever. So again, just mark it at the 1 centimetre mark. If you can hear noise going on upstairs, Sam is home. He came home from university yesterday and he is currently busy upstairs playing with his buddy Louis. They have been joined at the hip ever since Sam has been home. So I think he's gone upstairs now to watch the football. So there we go. We've got our 2 pieces that are cut at 5.5 by 2 3/4. And we have our line at the 1 centimetre mark on both of these pieces. The next thing I'm going to do is make a mark on one of these pieces of paper at the 1 inch mark. So here, approximately there like that. And then I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to snip into my piece of paper at approximately 2 to 3 millimetre intervals. This does not have to be precise, up to the centimetre mark that I made earlier. They don't have to be particularly even, just try and get them as close as you possibly can to that 2 to 3 millimetre mark. So here we go, you can see that that's what I'm doing here. Those are quite even. You may find as well that sometimes you're slightly short of your line, sometimes you might go slightly over. Don't worry about it, it will all be fine. So I'm just going to keep snipping away until I get to that mark here that I made at 1 inch. So I've snipped into my line, here we go, and just one more to go before we're at that inch mark, and that's what I've ended up with here, and they're all pretty even. I'm really happy with that. So next, with this one here, what I want to do is just cut this piece off here. Let's try and get this so that it doesn't go over too much. You'll see what I mean in a second. In fact, actually we can probably just pull that piece off. So now we've got this piece here that is about 1 inch long, and then all of these snippets here that are about 2 to 3 millimeters in width. Now I can of course keep this piece here to use in collage for a later date, but now I want to do the same with this piece here, but this time I'm just going to cut all the way along. I don't need to leave this inch long gap. So you can see I've got my two pieces of paper. I've got this one here with the inch little strip at the end, and this one that goes right the way across. My snips are all pretty much even. Of course, if you were using a wider piece of paper, 8-inch or 12-inch for instance, then you would just have one continuous piece of paper that would look something like this. It's just that because my paper is shorter, I'm doing it in two pieces. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take a toothpick, and I'm just going to roll from this end here, the one with the inch overhang, and we're just going to wrap this around the toothpick as tightly as we can. It's a bit tricky to get it going, but once you have, the process is much easier. So let's just try and wrap this under here like this. Just wrap this around, try and keep it as straight to the top as you possibly can. Take the toothpick out and then go back and just try and roll it a little bit tighter. So here we go. That's perfect, and that's what it looks like once you've got that roll the way that it should be. So now what I'm going to do is grab my art glitter glue. I am just going to apply a small amount of glue just here like this, just to hold that in place, and then I'm just going to use a clothes peg. I like these because we've got these two divots here, so this smaller divot here is perfect just to hold that in place whilst the glue dries. So you can see that there. Let's just move it a bit closer to the top, and I'm just going to leave that for a couple of seconds just for that glue to grab. Now that's been in place for a minute or so, that should be fine. And now it's time to insert my wire. And here we go. What I'm going to do is just place this through the hole here like this. Can you see what I'm doing? And the little wrap that we made at the end will stop that going through, so it just holds that wire in place. Now you need some other kind of peg. I'm just using one of these bulldog clips here because, mark my words, if you lose this, it is just really difficult to get that back through that hole once you've done the rest, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So what I want to do now is just continue my wrapping. So I'm just going to add some more glue. Oh, hang on a second, let's just use my pin. It's dried at the nib. Here we go. So I'm just going to apply some more glue here. You really don't need very much. You don't want it spurting out all over the place, and just continue rolling your little tassel. Just trying to keep it as straight to the top as you possibly can. Just doing it really neatly. Here we go. Just like this. Go slowly, take your time. There's no rush to do this. Having this in place here really helps to stop that wire falling through the other end. And then when you've run out of glue, just add a little bit more until you get to the end. So I'm just going to continue wrapping, just trying to keep it as straight as I can. And then let's add glue now right to the very end of this piece of paper. Now, had I just stopped here, I don't think my tassel would necessarily have been thick enough. Let me just go back, because my tassel now has started to unravel a bit. You've just got to try and keep it as tight as you possibly can. This is really hard to do whilst I'm talking on camera. You can concentrate much better on this than I can. So here we go. So once we've got to the end like this, we then need to bring in the other piece of paper, and we're just going to add this onto the end. So what I'm going to do now is just add a bit of glue here. We can add some here as well. Just make sure that we've got plenty here too. And we're just going to tack this piece onto the end, and we're just going to continue wrapping this around. So I'm just effectively joining these two pieces of paper together to make it one whole piece. Just adding more glue as and when I need it. And we should end up with a nice chunky tassel at the end of it. And you know, you can make these as chunky as you want, depending on the width of the paper or how many pieces you decide to add together. Just going to keep going. Nearly there. Almost at the end. Bit more glue here like this. And then I'm just going to use my peg again, just to hold that in place. This time here I can use the fatter end, and that will just hold it until that glue has grabbed. Now you can see I've ended up making 5 of these. Once I start, I just can't stop. I've also pulled out some beads as well that I thought might look really pretty to add to the ends of these. These are just crystal beads that I've had in my jewellery making stash. I used to make my own homemade jewellery, as many of you know, so I've got lots and lots of beads in my stash. So let's start off with this one here. Let me just move those ones there out of the way. What I'm going to do is thread this clear crystal bead onto the end here like this, and then I'm just going to pop the red one onto the top as well. Then grab my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to pinch that probably about 3 millimeters above the end of the bead, and I'm just going to turn that into a right angle here like this. Then I am just going to pinch my pliers into that little nook like this and bend the wire straight over the top. Take my pliers out again and reinsert them with the ring at the bottom, just like this. Give it a bit of a twist, and I'm just going to wrap that all the way around. So let's just try and make this nice and circular. Give it a really nice shape, and I'm just going to twist that round the top of my decoration, just like this. This is quite tight, so this is going to end up being a bit of a messy wrap. I really like that look. That's cool. Now Alex has run off with my proper jewellery pliers because he has been making an Eiffel Tower ornament. So I've got these ones here, and they're not very sharp. In fact, actually I've got 2 pairs. These ones might be better, so I'm not quite sure how I am going to get on with these, but all I'm going to do is just snip the end of that wire. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And then I'm just going to pinch that together just so that we don't have any sharp bits. And how cool is that? And that's just waiting for us now, ready to add some thread through the top. Now I do want to add some trim just around the base here as well, but I do want to add the beads to the other 4. So let me just show you that again. We're going to pop one of the larger beads on first, in my case this clear crystal bead, a red crystal bead on top here like this. Grab my round nose pliers, hold it about 3 millimeters just above the red bead, and turn that into a right angle. Wrap the wire straight over the top like this, and then reinsert and twist. And I'm just going to wrap that around until that's nice and snug. There we are. cut off the excess. We'll use these pliers. These ones are slightly better. I do need to get my pliers, my proper pliers, back from Alex. I'm missing them. And can you hear Sam talking to Louis upstairs? It's so cute. They're having a lovely conversation. And that's that there, like that. So now I just want to add some pretty trims just around the tops of these beautiful paper tassels. I've pulled out a whole heap of trims and ribbons and all of that kind of thing because I do want to try and jazz these up a little bit. Let's pop those off to one side. I'm going to start off by trying to do something with this one here. Let me just grab my scissors. I just want to cut that little bit there off. I've just got this tiny bit of jeweled trim here. This is upholstery trim. Isn't this just gorgeous? These are beautiful glass beads. Now I am going to use my glue gun to do this. I'm going to start off at the join here and I'm just going to add a small amount of glue and just stick that on there like that, and I'm just going to try and work my way around. Let me just pull this piece here off. It's a piece of paper. I think it's just blocking my view. It's now stuck to my finger. So let's just try and add a tiny bit of glue there as well. Let's just do this a little bit at a time. Keep going. Here we are. How does that look so far? Yep. I'm going to keep going. I did try and eyeball this earlier just so that I knew how much of this trim I wanted to use. So let's just continue to wrap this round. Again, I'm just going to trim those loose bits here. In fact, actually, I might try and fuse that as well because this is a kind of nylon. Let's see if we can fuse that, just melt the ends to stop them unraveling. Be careful when you do this, and then let's just pop that in there. In fact, actually this time here we'll add the glue just to the end of that trim and just continue to wrap that around. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? Then for this one here I want to use this beautiful gold trim. So again, let's just find that join, add a small amount of glue here, and that's where we can start the join off. And I'm just going to continue wrapping all the way around, just adding a small bead of glue. Let's add a tiny bit there as well, just to glue that down. Be careful with your glue gun, it is hot. Do not burn yourself, which I always end up doing. And I think I'm going to wrap this round a couple of times just so that I've got a bit of thickness. So let's keep going. And where do I want to stop? I think I want to stop perhaps here. That's a good place. So let's just snip that off there like that. And I'm just going to continue to add my glue. Just a bit at a time. Until I'm right at the end. And then I think when you get to the end, it's easier to add it to the fabric or lace itself. And let's just make that nice and neat. And that's just lovely. Really happy with that. I think these are just gorgeous. And then finally, I just want to do the blue one. I'm just going to use some of these flower trim elements here. I'm just going to cut them apart though, because I've got an idea. These are not going to fit if I wrap them around. Which is the front and which is the back? Oh, I can never tell. Never mind. So let's just add a tiny amount of glue. Just glue one on there like that. Then I'm just going to wrap that around the other side and try and get it symmetrical and glue it on the back as well. So a tiny amount of glue there as well. Let's pop that on. There we are. And then I'm just going to add 2 to the sides. So, you know, you can use whatever you have in your stash. Just make it up as you go along. Anything goes. And we'll add another one here as well. Where's the fourth one gone? Here we go. Add a blob of glue again to the centre, and then perhaps we could add some pearls to this one as well, perhaps. Now I've also got some of these flat backed pearls. These are sticky, but you know, they don't stick very well, so I'm going to have to add some extra glue. I'm going to use my my glitter glue to do this, just because I've got the fine nose bottle and it's just going to be easier. I'm just going to add a tad just in the middle and just add one to each of those flowers, and I'm just going to work my way around. So just cutting off the excess sticky here so that that's not going to be visible. A touch of glue in the centre. Here we are. Move on to the next one. Let's just pop that down there. Here we are. And just work my way around. Well, as you can see, I've kept adding to all of these. Once I started, I just could not stop. I've got lots of these pearl strips here, and they come like this, where you peel them off in a strip, and you can either cut them apart, as you saw me do with this one here, or you can use them just as a strip like this. With these, all I've done is added a dab of the glitter glue to the backs of all of these, because they're not very sticky on their own, and I've just added them as a strip to all of these, and I just think they look absolutely gorgeous. I mean, so Christmassy, so festive. So the finishing touch now that I need to add is a hanging mechanism, and I'm going to go with some fishing type wire. This is actually Acuflex, but fishing wire is very, very much the same thing. This is clear, so you're not really going to be able to see this, but all I'm going to do is thread a small piece of this just through the top of that loop. Just eyeball it to make sure that I've got enough. Oh, we've got a pin here. Let's just move that out of the way, tie a knot in the top, and then these are just going to look absolutely gorgeous on my Christmas tree. And for those of you that follow me on Facebook, I will be sharing some photos of my Christmas decorations next week. Well, I'm leaving the video here for today. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. They've now got their nylon thread hanging mechanism, and I will share some photos on Facebook and Instagram next week showing what these look like on my tree. I think they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I do hope that you'll give these a try. But you know, if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know which one is your favourite. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.